Hey Outlaws! Chapter 370 left us with a Guts that has been emasculated, broken down, disenfranchised with his own weapon, and who is going full internal with his own despair. If an outside observer were to come in, they would see a broken man without hope and declare him a mental case. But we know better, Outlaws. We all know that Guts isn't defeated yet. That what he really needs to do is leave behind the mantle of the struggler and become the dreamer. Strugglers endure and resist. Dreamers plan and pursue. And when successful, the dreamers prosper. Dreamers also lead or become leaders, directly or indirectly. And in this case, Guts must become a dreamer and something else. Guts must become a king. King Guts will be a man of power that the false savior Griffith cannot ignore. Guts will finally get his wish that he's been pursuing since the Golden Age arc. He will be noticed by Griffith and seen as an equal. A threat, but an equal threat. Now, you might be asking, how is Guts going to become a king? Doesn't he need to be part of a royal bloodline? Does he need an army? Does he need like a supporting class of nobles or even a group of peasants? Guts has that. Maybe not the royal bloodline part, but who knows? Studio Gaga can pull whatever they want. Honestly, Guts just needs to pick up his Dragonslayer and leave that tiny little room on his ship. Timeout's over, Guts. It's time to man up and get out there. He also has to grow. Growth is good, everyone. Here's what Guts has. At this point, Guts has reputation. Worldwide and astral-wide reputation. Everybody knows about him. Which is the starting point for all strong men to begin their rise to political office and influence. And women too, but we're talking about men right now because we're talking about Guts. Guts was the captain of the famous raiders, the 100-man Slayer, who is known throughout all of Midland. Guts has also become the feared and hated black swordsman, a reputation terrifying both human and apostles. He has become the protector of numerous human villages and kingdoms, using his might, aggression, and the almighty Dragonslayer to slay countless apostles and abominations created by both the God Hand and Emperor Kaneshka. And in fact, in a weird case of irony, the Dragonslayer has slayed everything but dragons. Guts has also rode Zod to stab Kaneshka's astral form in the face. A true Chad in my books. Guts also has powerful allies who have seen the darkness of the world and the darkness that embodies Griffith. For example, Captain Roderick. Captain Roderick is a successful captain of a fleet of ships who is seeking Farnace's father's favor. Or at least he was. Maybe he's still not. Who knows? He is also the third in line to be the king of an isolationist kingdom of Ys, which has the largest and most powerful fleet in the known world at this time. The King of Ys is also the main contributor of the Holy Sea's navy, who we have seen, the Holy See, voicing concern over the change of the world during the time Griffith was preparing to enter the physical plane. Right before the Tower of Conviction, everyone. We see this in the manga and anime, when members of the Holy See are seen discussing the dreams of the White Falcon, how it was a vision spread throughout the entire land. And in it, we see that they seem alarmed and believe that the Black Swordsman could also be part of an evil omen. They also express alarm over the coming of the Hawk of Light, which eventually passes as the Pontiff of the Holy See blesses Griffith as the coming of their Savior of Divine Revelation, the Falcon of Light. The Pontiff even gave Griffith authority over the nobles and their armies with his declaration. Now, this may not look good for Guts to have his potential main ally be a member of the Holy See, which just allied themselves with Griffith. But, hear me out. The Kingdom of Ys also just had one of its main contenders of the throne, Captain Roderick, witness Griffith's evil actions by destroying Elfheim and nearly everyone that was on the island at that time. And Griffith did not lift a finger to try to help those people. They were just, how shall we say, casualties of war. Including the woman that Roderick supposedly may be interested in, but we're not quite sure yet. Farnese. And speaking of Farnese, Farnese loves Guts. You can't deny it. She's enamored by him and respects him as a leader and as a man. She is also the daughter of a powerful merchant family, the Vandemonian family, which is the wealthiest in the world of Berserk. A family who's attacked by demons and the Kushans, who fought against them and witnessed Guts also defend them and destroy the demons unleashed by the Kushans and Emperor Ganishka. And honestly, Farnese would never betray Guts. And it turns out her father is also not a fan of Griffith's sudden rise to power. Farnese's father also told Griffith that they still consider themselves independent from him by saying that all the different countries that are under the Holy See's Alliance's authority, they're there to ally themselves to the Holy See, not Griffith. Until the pontiff, when the Holy See comes in and bows down for Griffith and declares him their savior. But that doesn't change the fact that they're only doing it because the Holy See is saying that they must. And this move made all the armies technically under Griffith's command, even Roderick's navy. But, again, that's because the pontiff, the Holy See, said so. It may not look good for Guts again, but the pontiff may not live for much longer, as he is already very old and is the only one we see who is obsessed with Griffith within the Holy See. A weakness that can be exploited once the pontiff is dead, which he seems to be very close to death. Especially since Griffith was also granted authority over the nobles by the pontiff only. And the nobles are likely to side with anyone who can oppose Griffith and remove the leash that he has put upon them. A weakness that a smart Guts, a king Guts, can exploit. Lastly, Guts can gain the support of the human nobility by marrying someone within their own ranks. Plenty of contenders. But the most loyal one at this time is Farnese. I know the Casca Guts shippers will be up in arms, and no, I'm not trying to bash you Casca Guts shippers. Not my intention. But let's be honest. Casca is Casca. She doesn't bring magical powers, nobility, or noble connections like Farnese would. And those are the kind of things a king needs. Especially a king who's going to be opposing someone as powerful as Griffith. And to be further honest, Casca is still too wrapped up in Griffith. For too many reasons. One, because it's still Griffith. And also because the Moonchild is still tied to Griffith. So the mother's love is something to be reckoned with. But let's also throw Casca a bone here. Griffith is not completely the Moonchild. They're still two separate entities. They're just sharing a weird astral bond for the time being. But let's get back to King Guts. If Guts were to marry Farnese, or even announce a union between the two of them, then he could gather the forces that he needs together to challenge Griffith. Not entirely likely, as Guts isn't really the most refined of people. And if we want to talk about somebody who needs work, Guts and Casca are definitely on the same level when it comes to interacting with human nobility and needing work in that realm. But Guts can improve, especially if he has someone like Farnese helping to smooth out his rough edges and kind of help open up diplomacy, especially if her father becomes involved. This is Guts' opportunity to create his own dream, his own kingdom. Something that will actually get him noticed by Griffith and seen as an equal. Finally filling in that deep, deep wound and allowing it to heal that Griffith caused deep within Guts. When Guts overheard Griffith talking about how he sees no man as his equal. And that no one will be called his friend unless he pursues his own dream as an equal standing with him. Though Guts does not care for titles and seems to not care much beyond his own sword and, doing things that Guts does, he is broken apart this time. His psyche shattered, his own self-identification shattered. which means he is ripe for growth, that someone could put the pieces back together, that he can be rebuilt and transformed into a dreamer, something bigger. Guts can be transformed into a king. King Guts, a true man of the people and a nightmare to his enemies. Alright, Outlaws, we obviously have much more to flesh out in this theory, but let's be honest. Berserk isn't going to end anytime soon. And Guts is short on resources. He's kind of hanging out by himself in a room right now. He needs to change and become a king. And kings, Outlaws, kings understand sacrifice. Which also leads us further later in the future down another theory path for Guts to take on Griffith. But we'll see. Stand by for that one. But for now, we'll stick with this one. King Guts of Midland. King Guts of the humans. Alright, Outlaws, we will see you next time.